Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs, joined alongside Ring Walk Danny. What up?
Champ, what's up, man?
Man, we're here to discuss this amazing undercard that Tank Davis and TGB PBC have put together. And in studio, we're going to be having Christian Tapia that had a fantastic fight on the zone. I'm calling it, obviously, Fight of the Year candidate. He didn't get the win, but he definitely did more than enough to deserve another opportunity on U.S. television. But jumping right into it, Danny, man, the return of Boo Boo Andrade, it's been confirmed that he has a multi-fight deal with PBC, man. So yesterday when we were, wondering whether or not Al was being a good guy, he is being a gracious advisor.
He's been a very nice person.
Bro, not only did he give him a tune-up, but he signed him to a multi-fight deal.
Do we know how many fights total?
No, but it's not a one-off guaranteed.
So it's at least 2. Hey, man, that's good. The fact that he gave him a tune-up is a good thing. And, maybe signs of positive things to come. I just keep thinking back to Terrence Crawford, because a lot of people may feel that Terrence Crawford could have burnt his bridges with Al Heyman, and the fact that Al Heyman has came back to work with
absolutely
Boo Boo Andrade, the fact that Al Heyman is giving these guys honestly just easy money.
Well,
and I say easy money because it's like you said, the fact that you're getting a tune up. He doesn't have to give you that. He could have threw Boo Boo in there with Charlo, like, right off back if you would have wanted.
Maybe not Charlo, but Adames for sure.
Adames for sure. So nonetheless, he's being a nice guy.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and give all the detailed information and move on to our guests. Rounding out the co-main event, making it, I guess, something definitely television worthy and pay-per-view worthy is the welterweight contender Jaron Ennis. He's going to be making his return, and he also will be in a welterweight interim title as the co-feature.
Another thing Al didn't have to do. Boots isn't with Al.
Mm-hmm.
He's, Al's not getting any percentage off. Like, that's not his fighter.
Yep.
He doesn't have Boots' best interest, but he has the best interest of the event, and therefore put Boots, co-main, being from Philly, so close to D.C., knows he'll bring out close to as many people, if not as many people, as Tank will.
Yep. No, listen, Damon Nicholson is also a good choice as a tune-up for Demetrius, because Demetrius being from Massachusetts, Providence area, that's a little bit different, but Damon is right there in that DMV area, so they can draw from his tickets, which he does sell tickets. He's been on Tony Jeter promotions. I've had those conversations with Tony. Damon is a ticket seller. Thomas LaManna uses Damon as well in and around that area. He's definitely a ticket seller in that location. So, not a bad choice at all.
Absolutely. And, once again, for Boo Boo, he's coming back off of more than a year layoff. And, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like if he were with Eddie Hearn, he probably would be stepping in with even lesser than opposition off of a year-plus layoff. So I think Damon Nicholson is going to be someone that's going to take him the distance. I bet.
Well, did Damon make it the distance with Berlanga?
He sure did, and I was going to say, I bet that. That was.
You're saying he didn't make the distance?
He did.
He did.
And I bet Berlanga.
I'm gonna bet against you. I think that Andrade stops him. He's got something to prove, bro. Clock's ticking. My man was what, 2008 Olympian?
Yeah, class of 08.
He's 36 then.
We were just talking.
No, he can't be as old as Wilder. I think Wilder started late. He's just from that class. So Andre's slightly younger, but, you know, you got to put the pedal to the metal. But while you look up that age, let me get a screen share, gentlemen. And this is Tank's thoughts on his own undercard.
The undercard is stacked. I ain't gonna lie. It make me feel like I ain't even know there was so many boxers that was gonna be on the card. So it's a surprise to me. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm back in the amateur. So I definitely want to call out Boots for sure. One of the young lions that's coming up for sure.
Standing ovation for Boots. And for those that don't know, when he says it feels like I'm in the amateurs, he doesn't mean that the opposition isn't experienced. He means that he's amongst his peers, right, you know.
Top guys
he's amongst his contemporaries, and all the top guys are on the same, you know, show. But he goes on to give more.
How many people in that first half second when he says, I want to call out Boots, do you think we're like, uh-oh? You know, like, uh-oh, like, you know.
Like, like if he was going to say something like, I want to call him out as, like, I want to fight him?
Yeah, like after.
I don't think anybody, because of the facial expression. He was, like, totally all smiles.
Yeah, that's something I want to point out that I did see a lot on the internet yesterday, was how happy Tank was during the press conference and how he was all smiles and
more talkative?
And more talkative, not really as grumpy, you know, just being open with the media, if you will, speaking more with the media.
I mean, he jumped on a Chicken Talk Twitter space, which gave us content for tomorrow morning's show. But right now, we're going to keep it pushing with his very stacked undercard, and we do have a guest in the building.
Yes, sir. Boo-Boo, you know what I mean? Another lion. What's your name, bro?
So obviously he calls Boots a young lion, and then he says Boo Boo another lion, and he says, yo, what's your name, bro? And he's like, Rashidi. He's like, yeah, you on the card, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, another lion. Watch.
Rashid, for sure. You on the card too? Facts. So it's definitely a lit night.
Yo, he said facts. It's definitely a lit night. So shout out to Tank and his very stacked undercard, which is funny, right? Like, promoters pay attention, right? Like, we're excited about a one-way undercard because, I mean, there's no 50-50 fight on there whatsoever. We're just happy to see big names. Like, people are just happy to see Boo Boo out of this, you know, boxing prison that he was in.
We're happy to see
Boots,
Rashidi.
Same thing for Boots. He's like, oh, wow, he's a title eliminator. It's like Earl going to have to either shit or get off the pot.
The IBF interim on the line.
Yes, sir. Then you got Rashidi, and it's like we've been talking about this Speedy Ellis welterweight for so long, and it's like now it's time. But let's take it to that.
Yeah, remember at the beginning of this year how many people would flood the chat?
Sorry.
We got the mom.
How many people would flood the chat saying like free Rashidi, you know, from his contract and things like that. So now for him to get a opening to pay-per-view to open off the year, you know, that's great for him.
I mean, Rashidi Ellis, he's going to get his second bout since signing the PBC. Like, would he sign a 5-fight deal? Because Raymond Villa, I'm hearing from the grapevine, he might be tough. I'm hearing he's signed to Samson. But it's hard.
Knockout. Knockout power.
Yeah. He's 24 wins, I think 23 KOs, but he's got this one loss, Danny, to some dude I never heard of that he got like 9 losses or 6 losses.
How long
Let me get a screen share. Put this on the side. He don't even deserve full screen because look at his robe for one. I can't see anyone on on U.S. television level losing to somebody whose box rec pick looks like this.
Only one loss.
Exactly. But look at this lone loss. Who is this? Not even Marcos Viega. That ain't what it says. It says Marcos Villasana. Okay? And he's from Los Monchi with 6 losses already.
No. I told you, bro. You can't play in Los Monchi.
I ain't telling you to play, but listen, if you the goods, you ain't supposed to lose in Mexico. Unless you fight in a superstar in Mexico like Jaime, Canelo.
How many rounds was that fight?
12, 12-round fight.
UD?
You know it. Nah, split.
Close cards on
112, 115, 112, 115, 114, 113.
Okay, yeah, it's close.
Yeah,
Damn,
that's even worse. That means you went
visited.
life and death with a Los Monchi cab
No,
driver.
that means he probably won, and they gave it to the hometown
Marcos
guy.
Villasana delivered pizza to me when I was in TJ.
But we didn't even have pizza in TJ.
Absolutely. He brought one slice. You didn't see it. And he was like, yo, buy tickets to my fight. Nah, let's see what he done since then, since he got the win over the puncher. Oh, you're a puncher. Let's see.
I mean, look.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so after that, he went on to lose a bunch more. All right. So, yeah, man. I mean, come on, bro. My man lost a lot. Marcos. Where is that one loss? Look at this.
You're on the wrong guy. That's the wrong guy.
Bro, I'm literally clicking it, and that's what it's going to.
But that's not who he's fighting.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
I want to look at Marcos,
okay,
who is from Los Monchi, right? And see who else he lost to and what he went on to do. So when I click on Marcos, I want to find the one loss that he has to Roman, right? We said Royman Villa.
just go to the year.
Royman Villa.
So what year was that? Because you're making this very difficult.
No, you are, because you made me give you a box rec lesson. It's right here. So he, after the loss, he went. What the hell? This ain't making sense. Oh, this because he beat Royman.
You tripping?
He beat Royman. Okay. So he was on a hot streak.
Shout out to Hardin.
Word is born. Shout out to Hardin. We got to hit up Hardin today for sure. I need some more of the fuego. Nah, but well, he was on a hot streak. You can't get mad at him. This is what I wanted to understand. Wow. So since this loss in 2015, he went on a hot streak here. All in Mexico, though. All in Mexico. Wow. He got Royman. Let me see.
When was his last fight?
Royman?
Yes.
Oh, he beat Boca Chica, bro. I got to watch that fight before this weekend. Well, this ain't until the 7th.
When was that?
This was September 9th.
Okay. And that's the opening bout. Then you have Boo Boo Andrade.
I wonder if this was that showbox because I kind of feel like I remember this.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
Damn. Boca Chica went draw with Sanard Bunch, who's fighting Hank Lundy this weekend. I might be today. Let me see what that line is looking like today. I'm following that sucker close. They gonna sleep. I'm telling you they will. But to round up, though, we still got a couple other things before we bring them in. We're just coming up on the 15-minute mark here. And this is the Gervonta Davis pay-per-view undercard, which is going to include a co-feature with Jaron Boots Ennis. He's going to be taking on Karen Chudazay, whatever.
Bro, just go to Jeffrey.
It's no longer Jeffrey. I don't know if they switched it for whatever reason.
Go to the
Karen Chakatsian.
Chakatsian.
Okay.
And this will be for the IBF vacant welterweight title. So before we move along, what exactly does that mean? Because I feel like Earl still could fight Crawford and not have to fight Ennis because of this. Like, the fact that your interim gives the IBF president more reason not to strip or mandate Earl and allow him to get a super fight with Crawford and the IBF get a percentage of that big pie and then allow Boots to defend the interim and get another check off that pie.
I don't know. I feel like Boots going to want to press the issue on fighting Earl because obviously that's a bigger pie. and more belts for Boots. So it wouldn't just mean the IBF. It'd mean, all the belts on the line that Earl carries. So
I don't know, man. One hand washes the other, and Boots ain't get here by surprise. Like you said, Al's generous. He didn't have to put him on this card. He didn't have to set him up with an interim. So if he don't want you to press the Earl issue, you probably can't press the Earl issue. But nonetheless, we'll see. Karen, who we've never seen on this level, he doesn't have any top 10 recognizable name on his resume that I know.
Fights in America?
I've never seen anyone, but I'll double check.
I got it.
While we continue to.
Then, I think.
Oh, he fought Ryan Martin.
Okay.
And got him out of there in 8. Ali Funeka. You should not be fighting Funeka in 2017, but okay. That's like fighting Chop Chop. Even though Funeka's probably fresher than Chop Chop. Real. Keeping it real.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I don't think this the Ryan Martin we was thinking about either. Nah.
Let me double check. Clicking it.
This guy's like 14-3 from the UK.
Definitely not the Ryan Martin. So you get no credit for that, my friend.
All right.
Moving on. The last fight is we did that. Andrade and Nicholson, right?
Pretty much.
That's it. Bring on in the guests.
Cut to Kenichi Bear.
Absolutely. If you haven't checked out the Hibernation 5s, go ahead and do so. Most of your favorite fighters are using those as running headsets, but you can use those if you're a gamer. Are you a PlayStation guy? Do you do the Xbox thing? What about a 2K, a Madden? I don't know. You can attach or detach the microphone. So, yeah. Did I do something wrong there? You're not supposed to tap it? Now I feel like I hear myself lower now. Let me see, baby. All right. Hello? Okay. I went down too hard on the
All right, we're gonna cut to Kenichi break and be right back. Let's try to fix Nessa's mic.
Back. We're gonna be. What up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We're joined here with promoter Manny Rivera and Christian Tapia, the man of the hour, man. Christian, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity.
All right, so we're going to obviously talk to him in Spanish and have Danny do the translation so it'll be easier for him and for him to be allowed to talk a little more fluent. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I guess I want to start with, does he feel that the fight with Thomas Matisse and himself should be nominated at the very least for Fight of the Year candidate?
Dice que si usted piensa que la pelea con Thomas Matiz debería ser nominada para pelea del año.
Eso yo lo dejo a la perspectiva de la gente, pero yo estoy seguro que brindamos un buen espectáculo.
He's like, no, I'll leave that to the people, to the public to decide, but I know that we gave the people a spectacle and a great fight.
For sure, man. It was an amazing fight. What does he accredit his stamina? I mean, honestly, it was like Wolverine. My man would get hit with bombs and just recover instantaneously, go down, get up without showing signs of being affected, fight even when hurt. I mean, he was an animal in there.
Dice que a qué le da el crédito a su aguante, que parecían animales ahí adentro, que aguantaron bien mucho, que a qué le da el crédito por su aguante.
A la condición, a la preparación. Sin eso no hubiera aguantado ese combate.
He's like,
Ask him, oh, go ahead.
he says, look, everything is my conditioning, my stamina, my preparation. ¿Qué fue, cómo fue su preparación de condiciones en campamento? Explíquenos un poquito para entender.
Corro bastante. Me gusta correr. Me levanto por las mañanas a correr.
¿Cómo cuántas millas más o menos?
Corro de 6, 7, 8 millas. A veces me tiro un medio maratón, que son 13 millas y media.
Por día.
Al día corro mis 45 minutos.
Okay.
Pero depende de la velocidad que lleve, pues me tiro mis 6, mis 8. Así. Depende de la velocidad que vaya.
Okay.
Pero después de ahí, pues voy al físico, hago entrenamiento físico y en la tarde, pues, entrenamiento boxístico.
De boxeo. So I asked him that. So I was like, what exactly does strength and conditioning look like for him in camp? And he says, no, look, I love to run. I do about 45 minutes in the morning. He says, depending on the pace, that could be anywhere from 6 to 8 miles. Some days I'll do, go beyond that and do a half marathon, which is 13 miles and some change. Then after that, he has strength and conditioning in the gym. And then obviously boxing in the evening after that.
I was told that he was doing swimming specifically for that fight. Was there no swimming involved? And if so, how much, would he say? Is there a time frame or were there laps?
Dice mi compañero que le platicaron que usted usó natación para prepararse para esa pelea. ¿Así fue el caso o no estuvo nadando?
Sí, también sacó un tiempo para hacer práctica de natación.
And what was the second part to that question?
Was it laps or hours? Like, what was it, like time or laps?
¿Era tiempo o vueltas en la alberca?
Vueltas. Repeticiones de 50.
50.
Damn.
50 laps, he said.
Without stopping?
¿Sin parar?
No, cogía mis 30 segundos de descanso y volvía para la otra, sí.
Oh, okay. So every lap, 30 seconds.
Entonces, cada una hace un descanso de 30.
De 30,
Yeah,
sí.
every lap.
Tell him I'm sorry to be prying. It's just that, bro, I am amazed at that performance that he put up. His power carried and his stamina, it was there. It was there, man. And it made for an amazing fight. I want to see him again because of that. Like, I know it's a division above, and I hear he might be going down, but because of that fight, oh my God, him and Pitbull would be crazy.
Dice que disculpe que sea tan curioso, pero dice que estuvo tan interesado con la pelea y que le encantó la pelea y que no pudo creer que tanto aguantaron y estuvieron tirando en la pelea y que por esa razón le gustaría obviamente verlo otra vez. Dice que le dicen que tal vez baje de peso a las 126 o ¿cuál es la situación ahorita?
Estamos pensándolo, ya que mis últimos combates me han salido toditos grandes. So, estamos pensando en ir bajando para ver cómo lo sentimos. Hacer uno en 128, a ver cómo lo sentimos el día de la pelea.
So he says that him and his team have been considering maybe going down, maybe at a catch weight, to slowly see how the body feels the day of the fight. So he says maybe something along the lines of 128 pounds.
Okay. Okay, so he's trying to get down a feather.
Perhaps.
Navarrete moved up. Everybody kind of moved up. Who's down there now? Oh, El Tran. That would be a nice fight.
Oh, yeah, Robesi Ramirez.
Ask him, has he ever gotten any work with Robesi Ramirez, and has he watched them fight? What's his thoughts on him?
Dice que si algún día ha entrenado con Robesi Ramírez o que si lo ha visto pelear y cuál es su pensamiento de él.
Lo he visto pelear. He visto 2 o 3 peleas de él. Es incómodo, un tipo zurdo, mete presión y le gusta tirar mucho esa zurda. Se ve que tiene potencia en esa zurda.
So he's saying that he's never trained with him, but he's seen a couple of his fights, and he says that Robesi seems to make things uncomfortable. Obviously, as a southpaw, he says he feels like he has a very strong left. And I was gonna say, obviously, now working with Larry Wade, it seems like that's been the case. Ahora digo que parece con su nuevo entrenador de condición, Larry Wade, que ha entrenado con Sean Porter y muchos campeones. Ahora Robesi ha estado, quiero decir, puro knockout, ahora que está con él. ¿Usted cree que puede hacer la 126? ¿Hace cuánto que pelea en ese peso?
Yo, desde que debuté, siempre he estado en 130.
¿Pero ni amateur?
En amateur, como cuando tenía 18 años, hice en 121, 123.
Oh, well, so I asked him, I was like, how comfortable or how easy do you think you can make 126? When was the last time you've made it? He's like, well, never as a professional. I'm like, what about an amateur? He was like, yeah, when I was like 18 or 19, it's the last time I fought at that weight. So
ask him what makes him think he can get down, and is it because he's making 130 so comfortably?
Well, he said because he was like everybody he's fighting is bigger than.
All right, but that doesn't mean he can make the weight below.
Dice mi compañero que por qué por qué cree que pueda hacer el peso, cuál es la razón que esté bajando de peso.
Pues la 130, pues las últimas peleas me han salido grandes, pero voy a tratar a ver cómo me siento en 128, porque las últimas 2 peleas yo he hecho 129.5. So, a ver cómo me siento en 1.28 y con una buena nutricionista, porque yo nunca he tenido nutricionista.
Okay.
En esta última pelea tuve uno y me sentí bien, me sentí fuerte.
So, y cuando dice que le salieron grandes, ¿qué quiere decir?
Grande en estatura y peso. O sea, cuando hidratamos...
Que te estás sintiendo muy grande, que ellos son muy grandes para usted.
Muy grande, alto y en estatura y en hidratación.
Rehydration, he said.
Exacto.
Okay, so he's saying that he feels that his last 2 fights, they've ended up being bigger than him when he rehydrates.
Opponent, right.
Yeah, he just feels they're bigger, not only in height, but also in weight.
And build.
And then they rehydrate more than him. So he's going to attempt to get down to 128 because he said he was 129 in like a quarter. Un cuarto, tú dijiste, 129 un cuarto.
29, exacto, sí.
Yeah, so he's going to try and cut that 1 pound and a quarter more. See what I'm saying? It don't sound easy. He's doing it 1 pound at a time. So, yeah, okay. Ask him, has there been any talks of a rematch? What's the network saying to him? Have they said anything since the fight? Has he been in communication? Have they sent him an email, a box of chocolates, a flower?
¿Han habido comunicación de una revancha? ¿Le han hablado? ¿Un correo electrónico? ¿Le han mandado flores? caja de chocolate, dice mi compañero.
Hasta ahora no ha visto nada de una revancha, pero me gustaría, siempre y cuando no fuera en Cleveland.
Okay. Manny, the promoter here, I'm gonna ask right after I translate, he's like, as of right now, there's been nothing for a rematch, but I would love a rematch as long as it's not in Cleveland. Manny, I have to ask, how do you get that rematch not in Cleveland?
No, well, I want to ask the same question. I mean, nothing? They've called you guys and nothing? You've heard nothing since the fight?
So I have heard. I'm in communications with Kevin Rooney all the time. Actually, I was going back and forth with him on text. The last word he's told me about Christian in particularly is that he's going to talk to the team and they're going to get back to us shortly on what the next step is.
So as the promoter, do you sit and allow him to rest because it was a tough fight, or do you get hands-on and put him in a local card back in the Philadelphia, PA area?
So, yeah, the options are completely open. Due to the contract that we have with Matchroom, there's a certain amount of time that they have to give us an answer. If not, then he can be a free agent. When it comes to that particular contract. So, yeah, we have an option that I can put him back on one of my cards. We're looking for probably April to fight again. So whether it's on one of our cards, I mean, I think Christian Tapia at this time, there's no look into easy fights. He's ready. I think that fight, depending on how you were looking at it, could have went either way. My opinion, anyways. I think the scorecards were ridiculous on that card. We're looking to fight anybody at 130 or below. We're talking about bringing him down a little bit. We don't know how that's gonna go. We don't know how that venture is. We're definitely gonna experience it. But anybody at 130, we're hopefully it works to our advantage where they saw some vulnerability in him. Because before this, nobody was giving us a shot. I mean, we were calling out everybody. And, Kevin, we've been trying to deal with Matchroom for a little while. They offered us this fight with contingencies. And we took the fight. We liked the fight. But, this is boxing. He got caught with a shot early in the fight on the temple, and it changed the game. But it showed who he is. You know what I mean? So I think if we get that rematch, like you were saying, we definitely would love it. We would definitely take it because I think I don't want to take no credit from Matisse. He deserves it, but on a rematch, we could definitely be the dominant side on that.
So who's his trainer?
His father, Miguel Tapia, is his trainer since he was a kid. His brother was also a professional fighter. He fought under Cotto Promotion. So his father's been training fighters for a long, long time. That's who's been his trainer. For this fight, his strength and conditioning coach, which I believe made what you guys saw possible, was Jaron Ennis. We brought him from Puerto Rico. Unbelievable guy. I think boxing will soon know who he is because he's never really ventured into the boxing world when it comes to hydration, the way to cut weight, nutrition. But the guy is amazing.
So he was also dealing and handling. I'm sorry, the nutrition as well.
Correct. He was in charge of all of that. We actually brought him from Puerto Rico, and he was with him the whole training camp.
Yeah, I was gonna add. Oh, that was gonna be my next question. Who was the nutritionist? So
yeah.
It's the same guy. So he's now moving forward, part of the team.
Correct.
Okay. Why April? Because that fight, I mean, now that kind of puts him, 6 months in between. Was there a reason why April? Why the gap in between?
Well, figure 3 months, 4 months. I mean, he just fought in November a few weeks ago, Oh,
shit, that's right. I'm thinking, I'm thinking it was October.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So, just giving him 3-4 months maybe in between. I mean, it was a
Okay.
tough fight, and right back on it. You know, he's back in the gym now and getting ready, and you know, I think that would be a great time.
So if not the rematch, where do you guys go from here? Because obviously, you know, you want to, like you said, you're looking at the top at this point, so you want to move up those rankings. So, you know, where do you guys go from here, or where can you go from here?
Like I said, we're currently by the agreement, we're currently still under an agreement with Matchroom. Like I said, last words from Kevin regarding Christian Tapia is that he's gonna have a meeting with the team and see how they're gonna go from that. But there's also a time frame to that. So I would say by the end of this month, the latest, if the case is, yeah, let's look forward, then I'm open to anyone. You know, Brad, Top Rank, you know, PVC, anyone at 130, you know, 128, we could try, but definitely 130. We're ready for anyone at that weight.
Yeah, I mean, 30 still has some decent fighters, man. Ask him, obviously, what's the relationship with him and his father like since it's father-trainer?
Dice que cuál es la relación con su padre, obvio, porque es padre y entrenador.
Súper bien. Tenemos nuestro pleito como siempre, así, pero siempre estamos ahí al acorde.
He says, no, it's a good one. Obviously, we have our disagreements, but overall, it's a good relationship.
And ask him, did he hold camp here or was that in Puerto Rico?
El campamento para la última pelea fue aquí en los Estados Unidos o
Fue aquí en Estados Unidos, sí.
¿En dónde fue?
En New Jersey y Filadelfia.
Okay. So he says Jersey and Philly areas where he had
Pero
camp.
yo siempre viajo a Puerto Rico. Esta vez no viajé porque como hubo un huracán allá, pues estaba sin luz y sin agua allá, pues entonces no me voy a ir para allá sin luz y sin agua. So me quedé acá, pero yo siempre voy y viajo allá, hago como un mes, 2 semanas, 3 semanas, un mes así, y viro para acá, que hago parte del entrenamiento allá.
Abre el campamento y termina.
Y
acá.
termino acá, exacto.
So he says that although he did have full camp for his last fight against Thomas Matisse here in the U.S., he says that the only reason that was because of the hurricane that took place back in Puerto Rico. He says that he typically always opens camp in Puerto Rico, whether it be, 2-3 weeks a month, and then he'll finish out and close camp here in the U.S. So he says that was the only reason for the full camp here.
Ask him, what do you think some of the benefits are of doing that, opening up over there and then coming over to wherever the fight is at, but specifically, what does he feel he's getting from being in Puerto Rico?
¿Cuáles beneficios o ventajas, en su opinión, tiene usted de ir a Puerto Rico a abrir campamento allá y luego venir a los Estados Unidos? O sea, ¿qué en su opinión le beneficia haciendo eso?
Allá hay mucha carrera. Allá hay muchos lugares donde yo puedo ir a correr sin tener que estar yendo a un sitio más leído o algo así. Allí yo arranco, me levanto y por toda la carretera arranco.
He says that it gives him so many more options to go running. He says he literally can get out of bed, and get on the road and go running versus here in the U.S. having to travel or go somewhere to go running.
For sure. Man, I had something else on the tip of my tongue. Damn it. But go ahead. I'm going to pull up these questions we have from the people on Patreon. I did see a post a few days ago. Hopefully we got a couple there for him.
For Manny, I wanted to ask, what else do you have cooking? Obviously, being a promoter, what's in
any
the
other
horizon?
fighters we should be looking at?
What's in the horizon for you and your promotion?
Absolutely. We're looking to do our next show in Philadelphia in February. So that'll be our next card. We have a couple of other fighters that actually Kevin's been texting me about to make some fights. We got Giancarlos Rivera. He actually trains with Boots Ennis. He's Boots Ennis' main sparring partner, 140-pound kid, explosive, very just straightforward. He trains with Bozy Ennis. So kid coming up now. He's 7-1. I have Godwin Rosa, which I'm talking to Kevin Rooney now, with a fight for April of next year with him. He's 10-2. Another explosive kid. We have a girl, female fighter. She's 3-0. Hopefully you guys get to see her soon. She's so above her
What weight class?
our ability. 114.
Okay.
She's fighting at explosive. Liana Cruz is her name.
Oh yeah. I've heard of her.
Yes, I mean she's amazing. You know, very marketable, very pretty young lady, and could fight. I mean, style. She's like, you know, you cut her hair and you don't see her chest, you would think is a man in that ring. I mean, she's so sound when it comes to her boxing skills. Is amazing. So she's somebody that I want the eyes. At 118, I got a young kid. He's 2-0 now. Also explosive. Has unbelievable power out of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Reading, PA.
Yeah. Young kid. Also Villanueva. Also a very explosive young kid at 118 pounds. So we have a young group coming up now. I have some of the veterans in boxing too that for anybody. I've been trying to get a big fight for Anthony Young. He's also one of our fighters. I'm pretty sure you guys know who he is.
Yeah, what's the deal with him? How he beat? Who did he get the upset win? Was it Saddam Ali?
He retired Saddam Ali after Saddam Ali beat Cotto.
And then he does nothing after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put no excuses to him. At that time, I didn't have him. You know, he wasn't under our promotion. I know he did have some type of business dealing with Golden Boy, I think, at the time. Due to the win with Saddam Ali, I don't know if the negotiations didn't go right or whatever it was. I don't want to say something I don't know about. But he became stagnant for a while after that fight. And then COVID hit after that. And during COVID was when me and him started talking. I contacted Golden Boy, and they were like, yeah, man, he's, me and my partner, Will Ruiz. And he was like, yeah, man, he's a free agent. So we decided to sign him. And, we've been putting him on cards and just trying to keep him active. But I'm looking, he's ready. He's ready for a big fight. And I hear it. I hear it from everyone. I mean, hear it from Matchroom. I hear it from some of the other promoters as well that, he's a dangerous fighter. He's one of those fighters that, he doesn't have the big name, but he can go in there and upset your guy, as he did before in the past. But he's a guy that deserves the shot. Talking about somebody that deserves the shot, he hasn't lost. He's since Saddam Ali, and he just hasn't got the shot because of that dangerous factor that he has. So that's another fighter also that I want to mention and put his name out there for those that like to, check out, who the competition.
And he's fighting at welterweight.
That's nothing but welterweights. And that's why, some of the frustration that I have with that.
But have you called Espinoza?
All of them. All of them.
And you telling me they said no to a Boots fight?
That's a fight that has never been brought up. That's a fight that's definitely never been brought up. They've worked with each other. They're in the same area. So they worked with each other so many times. It's a fight that never been brought up. I'm pretty sure if it's brought up, we could definitely sit on the table. I'm going to be honest, now that you mentioned Boots, to me, I could be criticized, but that is the best fighter at 147 right now, unproven. I can tell you, and not just because of his ability. I know him since he was a kid. I know his family. I know his work ethic more importantly than anybody. I've never seen somebody live and breathe boxing the way that kid does. I mean, he went to a huge fight, went to one of his fights. He's back there on Monday in the gym. I mean, you know, this is all that kid does. So this fight to me, this fight coming up to him, I mean, people might think it's a test. I don't believe it's a test. He's going to prove that.
You know Karen?
The fighter that he's fighting? I don't know him personally, but I know Boots.
I wanted to ask.
I know he's a tough fighter. Don't get me wrong.
I never heard of the guy.
I'm not taking no credit away from him, but I know Boots.
I wanted to ask you being out there, do you think Boots has what it takes to capture the heart of the Philly fans? Like, Philly has some of the most passionate fans, sports fans in the world. Do you think that he has what it takes to capture the heart of those Philly fans and become kind of like the Rocky Balboa, if you will, of his day?
I don't think the question is can he I think he already has captured the Philly fans. Philly's on his back for sure.
So
it's the world.
Right now, no. I'm saying right now he fights. So he got the fight with Karen. Mm-hmm. If they announce his next fight is for the vacant 147 IBF title, is he selling out the Wells Fargo?
I don't know, right? I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say yes. I think when it comes to boxing, is who you put with him. Now, if you bring a Boots and Spence, you know, to the Wells Fargo, yes, that will be sold out without a question. You know what I mean? I mean, Bernard Hopkins, legendary fighter, right? He's fought at the Wells Fargo. With all due respect, he didn't sell out the Wells Fargo, but who did he fight? You know what I mean? But if you bring the fight, he'll definitely sell it out. Philadelphia will support it 100%. But if you bring somebody that Philadelphia already knows because they respect him and they know who he is, that they know they're going to go and it's going to end in the second round, I can't answer that question.
Ask Christian, when would he like to get back in the ring? I mean, because that was a tough fight. Like, how is he looking forward to some time off?
Obvio, fue una pelea muy difícil en noviembre. Su promotor tiene planes de abrir. ¿A usted le gustaría más tiempo o le gustaría el tiempo de descanso para recuperarse de esa guerra que tuvo con Matiz?
Pues me gustaría ver cómo el cuerpo me va reaccionando y si veo que el cuerpo necesita más descanso, pues coger descanso. Si no, pues estaríamos peleando otra vez.
He says, no, look, give my body some rest and just listen to my body, see how my body reacts and how it feels. And if my body tells me I need more rest, then I'll get more rest. But if not, guns blazing, looking to fight.
Ask him what got him into the sport. Was it being from Puerto Rico, did it happen to be like a legendary Puerto Rican fighter? Like, what got him into it?
Dice, siendo puertorriqueño, de tantas cosas, ¿qué fue lo que lo que a usted le encontró al boxeo? ¿Qué fue lo que con usted se enamoró del boxeo?
Yo soy el menor de tres hermanos. Entonces los dos mayores decidieron entrar al boxeo y yo, como todo hermano pequeño, quise hacer lo mismo que ellos. Y cuando iniciamos, pues lo vi como un juego, porque como ellos lo hacían, pues yo lo hacía. Pero fueron mis hermanos. Inicié por mis hermanos y Tito Trinidad.
He says, look, I'm the youngest of three, so my two older brothers, they decided to start boxing again. Like any, young brother, I just wanted to be like them, so I decided to join them and start boxing. And then, Tito Trinidad had a heavy influence as well.
Double down on that because he said that so casually. So was it like an influence because he's seen him on TV, followed his fights, or did he physically meet him and was influenced by him?
¿Qué fue de Tito? O sea, ¿fue una pelea? ¿Lo conoció? ¿O qué fue de Tito que lo captivó a usted?
El pueblo puertorriqueño, eso era cuando peleaba Tito, todo el mundo sacaba televisores para afuera y eso era una fiesta.
He's like, no, it's just the Puerto Rican people. You got to understand when Tito fought, you know, the Puerto Rican people, it's a party. Everybody's bringing the televisions outside. Everybody's showing the fights, and we're just partying, having a good time. So it was just the Puerto Rican people.
Y más cuando le daba las dos galletas.
When the father.
He definitely lost me there.
Well, he said, you got to translate. He's like, especially when they used to give him slap him twice, and that's, you know, his father before he passed. You know, he would slap him whenever he wasn't doing his thing.
Okay.
Ask him, does he feel? Well, before that, ask him, did Cotto receive any similar embrace from the public? Did the TVs come out in the streets for Cotto as well?
Dice mi compañero que si a Cotto recibió el mismo amor que recibió Tito, que si las televisiones, los televisores estaban saliendo para afuera y que si la gente de Puerto Rico hacía una fiesta igual como lo hacían con Tito cuando peleaba Cotto.
No, porque eran diferentes personalidades. Entonces, cuando había una pelea grande, de que la gente veía que era fuerte y grande, pues habían un par de gente que sacaba, pero cuando llegaba a la isla, pues no se recibía igual como a Tito.
He's like, no, honestly, it wasn't the same. Two different personalities. You know, some people may have done it when Cotto was in those big, tough matchups, but when he came back to the island, the embracement wasn't the same as Tito.
Does he think Berlanga will be received the way Tito was with the TVs come out for Berlanga? And if not Berlanga, then tell him, let him answer, then follow up and ask him who then?
Yeah.
Who would the Puerto Rican public bring out those TVs and make a party for in the street?
Dice que si usted piensa que Edgar Berlanga podrá recibir ese amor algún día, que si llega a ser campeón del mundo, donde la gente de Puerto Rico le dé ese amor y lo reciba allá en la isla.
No creo.
No.
No.
Entonces, ¿usted quién cree ahorita que pueda lograr eso?
El que va en camino que puede lograr eso, Sander Saya.
Es Sander.
Tiene su humildad, su carisma. Y a Puerto Rico no le gusta mucho el fronteo y eso, no. Le gusta más humilde y que se dé querer el peleador.
So fronteo, just want to clear that's front, like showing.
I want to say it's fronting, yeah,
Okay.
showing off.
So he says that he doesn't believe Edgar can go on to achieve that. So I did ask who, and he said Xander. He says, you know, Xander right now is on track and he's humble. He says that for the most part, the Puerto Rican people love the humility, love, are humble and don't like the front or the showing off.
Wait, so my counter to that is, what about Hector Macho Camacho? He was loved, right? Or was he not?
Dice que, pues...
mi contra para eso va a ser, obviamente, Hector Macho Camacho, la gente lo querían. So, quiero preguntarte, ¿sacaban las televisiones para él? ¿Hacían fiesta para él o no?
Pues no, para Héctor Camacho, pues yo era chiquito, no tengo de eso, pero sí fue querido también. Pero él era como un show, es que él era un showman. Él te salía de indio, la entrada, tú sabes, buscaba cosas como que para que la gente lo viera, pero también como hablaba, también peleaba. Lo demostraba que eso es.
He's like, well, for one, I was very young when he was fighting, so I can't really tell you about how the people reacted. But I will say that he was a showman, and he came out with the creative costumes. He and another thing, when he fought, he came and he talked, but he backed it up in the ring as well. Te quiero preguntar porque yo hablé con Sander tal vez hace un par de meses aquí en La Vega, estaba entrenando y yo le pregunté en su punto de vista quién era ahorita, hoy en día, el boxeador puertorriqueño más grande. Su respuesta de él para mí me dijo Shakur Stevenson. Obviamente no es de la isla, pero su papá sí es puertorriqueño. Usted su pensamiento de Shakur y cierto boricua que sí lo han recibido,
Ujú.
su pensamiento.
Pero creo que sí, Stevenson, aunque yo lo catalogo como boricua, pero de afuera, como que no es nato nato. Entonces, si los vamos, Sander Saya nació en Puerto Rico, pero también creo que a la edad de 5, 8 años, 10 años, pues se vino para acá, pues sí tuvo su crianza en Puerto Rico, ¿ves?
Sí.
Pues entonces, pues ahí se cataloga como de la isla.
Ujú.
Ya cuando
sí,
tú,
sí.
de acá, pues entonces, pero yo lo veo que si él representa a Puerto Rico, pues bienvenido sea. Pero creo que tiene la bandera ahí es Sander Saya. Para mí, para de ahora. Pero si Sander Saya es como un prospecto que viene en ascenso, pero el que tiene ahí a la isla ahora, pues es Stevenson.
No, he's like, well, right now, I guess I would have to agree because I asked him, when I spoke to Xander a few months back, and I asked him who was the biggest Puerto Rican fighter right now. His response to me was Shakur, and he's saying, right now I would have to agree. Right now, who has the Puerto Rican flag the highest is Shakur. Xander right now, if anything, is a prospect, but I guess when he says Puerto Rican, obviously he means born in the island, growing up in the island the way Xander did, and obviously Shakur born here in the U.S.
Ask him what does he think he needs to do, specifically beat, so that the TVs come out for him.
Dice mi compañero que usted qué cree que tiene que hacer Shakur
No, él.
él que usted qué cree que usted tiene que hacer o a quién le tiene que ganar para que los puertorriqueños saquen la tele para usted.
Es que hoy en día es muy difícil que hagan eso, pero ya conmigo, pues por lo menos en mi pueblo, lo han hecho. Es dejarse ir queriendo que la gente siga viendo las peleas y que se vaya regando la voz y la gente lo va a hacer. Pero es que para hacer lo que hizo Tito ahora mismo no creo. Tito es como que el único que, como Jordan, por ejemplo, que la gente sacaba, por lo menos en Puerto Rico la gente también sacaba, Jordan jugaba y la gente sacaba televisores. Pero
Damn.
como Tito, en cuestión de eso ahora, si me dicen vocísticamente quién fue el mejor, hay mucha gente que me dice que José Ortiz, él es puertorriqueño, el de Ponce, pero de los tiempos de antes.
Oh,
Hablando vocísticamente quién es el mejor de Puerto Rico, pues la gente me dice mucho José Ortiz.
So he says that it's very hard to accomplish that, to get for the Puerto Rican people to bring the TVs out for you now and day. That's very hard to accomplish. He's like, at least where I'm from, the people have done it, but to do what Tito did, Tito was like a Jordan. People did that when Jordan played, but it's very hard and rare, of an occurrence.
that's pretty sad.
¿Por qué cree usted que es así? Porque yo le digo a mi compañero que igual con Canelo, que o sea, que Canelo nunca va a recibir, no importa quién le gane, nunca va a recibir el amor y el cariño que recibió Chávez. Y le digo, Chávez andaba con todo respeto acá peleando con su primo hermano, peleando con el taxista, peleando con el señor del agua, o sea, peleaba con cualquiera y obviamente tenía sus problemas fuera del ring. Canelo tenga problemas, no sabe, no importa, él ayuda, no estamos oyendo de problemas, pero nunca la gente mexicana nunca lo va a recibir y amar como lo hicieron con Chávez. ¿Usted por qué cree que es así en Puerto Rico?
Es por los tiempos, los tiempos. Los tiempos cambian, pero hablándote de lo de Canelo, creo que cuando vino Mayweather, Mayweather era un showman, ¿verdad? También. Y cambió el quedarte invicto. Cambió eso de, que si tú tienes derrota, pues no, era quedarte invicto, es lo que vale ahora. Pero hablando todo lo de Canelo y Chávez, creo que es por la gente de antaño, se quedó ya con eso, inculcándolo a los niños, que Chávez es el único. Pero para los tiempos de Chávez tampoco había no había la tecnología que hay hoy. Y Chávez es igual que Tito. No había la tecnología y Tito acaparaba a Puerto Rico completo, que ahí es que está lo de Canelo y Chávez.
So he says that as far as the whole Canelo thing, that he believes that Floyd came along and changed many people's perspective and thought process on remaining undefeated and keeping their O. He says, and as far as the whole Chavez and Canelo comparison, you got to understand, similar to Tito, technology wasn't as advanced. So when Tito, alike Chavez, would fight, the Puerto Rican and the Mexican people would stop and, be able to watch those fights because they didn't have as much technology to take them away. ¿Usted cree que pueda llegar en su vida, en nuestra vida, lo que queda de nuestra vida, que pueda llegar alguien que sobrepase la fama que tuvo Tito, la fama que tuvo Chávez?
Puede ser, pero porque nada es imposible, pero ahora mismo, como dije, va en camino Sandersaya.
No, ni digo ahora mismo, es que, cuando estamos hablando esa fama, estamos hablando fama de otro nivel, estamos hablando fama de Daddy Yankee, de Vicente Fernández, de Pele, fama de otro nivel. Entonces, por eso yo le pregunto que si en nuestra vida, ni ahorita mismo, pero en nuestra vida, que si usted piensa en los próximos 50 años llegue otro que sobrepase la fama que tuvo Tito en Puerto Rico.
Puede ser, porque ya con el tiempo, pues, 50, 60 años, ya eso se va quedando.
Se va olvidando la gente.
La gente va, al menos que sigan viendo, pero lo dudo, ya el tiempo siempre va.
50 o 60 vamos a tener que durar para que venga otro, o para que pase Tito.
Para que pase, es que Tito es Tito, todavía
Yo estaba
llega
esperando
donde sea y Tito lo reciben.
Go ahead, translate, because I've been waiting to say something.
So I asked him, because obviously when we're talking, he's speaking for the Puerto Rican people. Write it down. He's speaking for the Puerto Rican people. Me for the Mexican people. I asked him, does he think in our lifetime, in the next 50 years, can he see somebody overpass the fame that Tito had in Puerto Rico and the fame that Chavez has with the Mexican people? And he's like, yeah, perhaps, because 50, 60 years from now, people forget, people die, and, new things happen, but it's going to be really tough. And, I was just, I really wanted his thoughts on that, because obviously that's a different type of superstardom. And I was talking about, comparing it to musicians like a Daddy Yankee. He can't walk the streets of Puerto Rico without being mobbed. Vicente Fernandez got arrested. He couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys have the superstardom where, the president calls you when you win and things of that nature. So just wanted his thoughts on that. But what you got?
So I wanted to ask, did he ever experience a Juan Manuel Lopez fight, specifically those Orlando Salido fights or the Roger Matagua fight? How was the city, the country, when Juan Manuel Lopez fought? I feel like had he not lost to Salido, he was on the cusp of taking over.
Que si usted pudo, experience.
I got it. Le estaba preguntando a él que te diga si tú has vivido y llegaste a ver la pelea de Juanma en el tiempo de él, porque pienso yo que antes de él perder esas 2 peleas contra Orlando Solido, él estaba ahí, que el público estaba atrás de él. Yo me recuerdo que hasta Dodge le dio un carro, pero Dodge de Puerto Rico, él tenía mucho sponsor, él tenía Top Rank, y le llevaban la pelea para Puerto Rico. No hay peleador que tiene pelea aquí, o sea, que la ponen aquí, que están allá. Yo me siento que si él no pierde esa pelea con Orlando Solido, él puede ser esa estrella que estamos hablando. ¿Qué piensas tú y cómo estaba la calle, cómo estaba el ambiente cuando él peleaba en ese tiempo?
Estaba también igual. Ya iba en camino. Iba en camino hasta que pues Salido le ganó. Pero Juanma también era... Es que cuando a él lo mareaban, era como que se quedaba peleando. No buscaba pasar el golpe, se quedaba peleando, me noqueo. Y a la gente le gustaba eso. Entonces, pues, estaba en camino hasta que, pues, Salido lo... Después cuando cogieron la revancha, ahí como que estaba regular, pero cuando vino la revancha y pasó lo mismo, pues ya ahí la gente, lo echaron. Porque el público boricua es así. ¿Sabes? Te tienen aquí como te pueden tener acá después al otro día. Eso es así.
He's like, no, absolutely. Juanma was on his way. He was definitely getting that reception and that love, similar to Tito, you know, but absolutely it was the 2 losses because, you know, after the first one, the people were still with them, you know, but even though there was some that were on the fence, but after the second, they definitely stopped supporting. And that's how the Puerto Rican people are. You can be on top one day with them and then on the bottom the next.
Tell them that I think that the mistake that they made was not doing Juanma versus Gamboa immediately after the Raja Matagua fight. I don't know if he can remember as vividly as me, but obviously, you know, Lopez fought Matagua and was drugged in that fight. You know what I'm saying? But he got away with the win. And then they gave Gamboa, the same guy, and Gamboa blanketed his ass. They should have did it, but they went to Salido and ruined everything. Because I think that Gamboa was chinny enough and Lopez strong enough that even though he was vulnerable, he had that punch that he could probably sleep Gamboa, who had been down at that time like at least 8 times already. That's a lot, I know.
Dice que él piensa el error que Top Rank y los manejadores de Juanma que hicieron, que después de la pelea con Matagua que tuvo, que lo hubieran puesto con Yoroki Gamboa, porque dice que él piensa que Juanma tenía el poder para poder noquear y parar a Gamboa, pero en vez lo pusieron obviamente con Salido.
Sí, pero obviamente también Gamboa tenía la fuerza para noquear a Juanma también, pero él tenía más oportunidad con Gamboa, que también tenía la quija media floja.
Pero la quisieron alargar más y Salido vino y cortó eso.
So in the chat, están preguntando, they asking over, you know, Verdejo. I personally feel Verdejo never had the it. He had the look. He did get the love and I guess the backing from Trinidad, but I feel like the people never got behind him. Obviously, it's probably a bad word to bring him up at this point. But yeah, you know, we want to get his thoughts, obviously, on Verdejo and how the public reacted to him then, not obviously now with everything that went on.
Que si usted piensa, mucha gente está comentando, que si usted piensa que Verdejo al inicio tuvo ese recibimiento de la gente de Puerto Rico, porque obviamente tenía a Tito Trinidad hablando muy alto de él y todo eso, tenía la mirada, él piensa que no tenía lo suficiente adentro del ring, pero que si usted piensa que la gente lo recibió al inicio, lo estaba recibiendo así.
Igual yo desde el inicio no le veía como que para profesional, no le veía el estilo, como se quedó como un estilo aficionado en pro. Pero en marketing lo tenía por acá arriba y él estaba acá. En Puerto Rico estaban así, la gente que no ve boxeo, que no consume boxeo mucho, pues sí, verdeo. Pero el que sabía de boxeo, que no estaba como que todavía no me ha demostrado.
He's like, no, same thing with me. I felt that he didn't have a pro style, and he was here, but the marketing was even higher. So the people in Puerto Rico that didn't watch boxing as much, they did fall into that, and they were beginning to receive him, like that.
So I got to ask, because technically or mechanically, right? Mechanically, because not technically. Mechanically, he threw the punches well. Verdejo looked good, but every time they stepped him up, he would get beat up, Did he think it was the trainer? He stuck with that trainer, Ricky Martin, for so many years. Does he think he was not able to learn enough or more than because of the trainer?
Dice que
And if he doesn't want to comment, it's also cool, because I know they're all Puerto Rican.
dice que mecánicamente Verdejo tiraba los golpes, se miraba bien, pero cuando lo ponían con alguien difícil, alguien un rival difícil, obviamente no respondía, no ganaba esas peleas. ¿Usted qué cree que fue, y que si piensa que fue el entrenador Ricky Martin, que se quedó con él muchos años, y dice que si prefiere no dejar comentario, que también está bien?
Siempre quieren echar la culpa al entrenador, pero también el boxeador. El entrenador no puede ser padre de él fuera del boxeo. Él, mientras llega al gimnasio, pues él lo atiende ahí. Fuera del gimnasio, él tiene que tener su disciplina. Así tiene que ser todo boxeador. Y según, pues no era tan disciplinado, que fue cuando se cayó en la motora y eso, cuando iba por un título mundial, que eso era una oportunidad que todo boxeador quiere tener, y la desperdició ahí. So, que entrenador, no creo que la culpa la tenga un entrenador.
He's like, no, look, everybody always wants to blame the trainer, but the thing is that the trainer can only be your trainer in the gym, inside of the ring. He cannot be your trainer outside of the ring, and the discipline or lack of that you have, that's on you. So, we've always heard he was very undisciplined, and we saw it. He was on his way to a world title and wasted that opportunity with the whole motorcycle incident. So, no, I think it's on him, not on any trainer.
3 more. James Valdez, San Antonio, Texas. How do you see the Tank versus Hector Luis Garcia fight playing out?
Estas son preguntas de unos aficionados. Esta viene de San Antonio, Texas. Dice, ¿usted cómo ve la pelea de Héctor Luis García contra Gervonta Davis el 7 de enero? ¿Cómo la ve?
En 135 creo que Davis.
He says at 135, I think Davis. ¿Cree que llega a la distancia?
Eso depende, porque el García se ve que es fuerte también y es alto, pero es 30. No sé cómo les venga a las 35.
So I asked him, does he think the fight goes the distance? And his response was at 35, Tank. So he said that, it kind of depends, given that Hector Luis Garcia is a 30-pounder, but he does look like a strong 30-pounder, and he's tall as well, so it kind of depends.
Brandon, he's already answered this, so we'll shout out Brandon, who said, what is the feeling in Puerto Rico about Xander Zayas? But he gave a in-depth breakdown. David Maldonado touches on Shakur, kind of what you touched on, but the gist of the question is, why hasn't Puerto Rico produced another elite fighter? They've only been producing half elites. Shakur, Danny, guys like that. Since Cotto, there's been no full-blown elite.
Ain't elite like same shit in Spanish? Pretty sure.
Elite.
Dice que por qué...
No yo. David Maldonado de Nueva York quiere saber cómo se siente el público sobre Shakur Stevenson y por qué tú piensas que la isla no ha podido
producir peleadores de calibre élite que nomás son como medios, como Shakur, que obviamente medio puertorriqueño, o sea,
Sí, porque-
igual con Dani García, que llegó obviamente campeón mundial
Americano, puertorriqueño.
americano puertorriqueño. Entonces, dice que, en su opinión, ¿por qué cree que la isla no ha producido campeones de calibre élite?
Hay boxeadores élite, pero no le están dando la promo que se merecen. Por ejemplo, Pedraza, cuando estaba Pedraza, estaba Verdejo, le daban más promoción a Verdejo que a Pedraza. Decían en Puerto Rico, la gente tenían a Verdejo acá y a Pedraza acá abajo. Cuando Pedraza para mí, ahora mismo es el mejor de Puerto Rico. Por ahí viene también Subriel Matías, que pelea con Ponce por el título vacante. Está Manny Rodríguez. Son de boxeadores élite, pero no le están dando la promo que se merecen.
Y el otro, Librón. ¿Qué tú piensas sobre
Moncho.
Librón?
Moncho.
Sí, sí, así de Moncho.
Moncho Lebrón también viene por ahí. ¿Sabe? Que está demostrando, pero tienen que darle la promo que se merecen. No le están dando las promos.
Déjalo traducir.
So he says, he's like, no, the thing is that the island is producing elite fighters, but they're not getting the opportunity and the promotion that they deserve. You know, when Pedraza was at his highest, you know, you had Verdejo there, and what did they do? They chose to promote Verdejo when, you know, we all felt that Pedraza was a far better talent. So, you know, now you have guys there. They just have to give them the opportunity, the promo and the marketing that they deserve.
Normally, Top Rank was that promotional outfit that knew how to seek Puerto Ricans and groom Puerto Ricans. Does he feel that Top Rank has lost their desire to find the next great Puerto Rican fighter?
Dice que usualmente Top Rank era la promoción que sabía buscar al puertorriqueño y saber vender el boxeador puertorriqueño. Que si usted cree que Top Rank ya no tiene ese deseo de buscar talento puertorriqueño, porque obviamente tienen a Sander, pero
Y a Berlanga.
y a Berlanga, que obviamente, ¿cómo le
Y
dicen?
la última pelea de LeBron también estaba ahí. So I'm just butting in saying they do have Xander, Berlanga, and obviously LeBron last fought on their TV.
Well, you said that the question was, do you think they still have the desire to go after the Puerto Rican?
No, I know. I'm saying I'm translating to the people what I butted in to say to him.
Okay. Pero que si usted cree que Top Rank pues, siga teniendo ese deseo de llegar a buscar el grande boxeador puertorriqueño.
Yo creo que eso lo hicieron los mismos boxeadores boricuas. Por X razón, cuando él lo firmaba, pues no tenían su disciplina. So, pues él decidió como que, espérate un momento, que esta gente no está teniendo disciplina. A lo mejor lo tienen todo en la mano y no tienen la disciplina que tienen que tener. Pero no creo que él descarte buscar boricua, porque creo que somos el segundo más con títulos mundiales en la isla. So, en la isla hay mucho talento, pero tiene que saber buscarlo porque esto se trata de disciplina dentro del deporte y fuera del deporte.
Well, you know, I think what occurred is that, you know, he's given, you know, a lot of fighters an opportunity, and what happens is they don't have the discipline. So I don't think that he's necessarily lost his desire to seek out Puerto Rican talent, because if I'm not mistaken, we have the second most world titles are coming from the island. But the thing is that they have to seek out disciplined talent, because they can have the hands, the talent in the hands, but they don't have the discipline to be able to, you know, make something of themselves.
Por ahí viene un chamaquito también, Oscar Collazo, 105. Lo que pasa es que es bajito, es 105. Pero es otro que puede ser el líder de los boricuas por ahí.
He says another elite Puerto Rican fighter to look out for is, ¿cómo se llama otra vez?
Oscar Collazo.
Oscar Collazo. He's like, the only issue is he's a 105 pounder, but you know, he's a talent.
Ask him, does he see Collazo getting anywhere to 180? Like, career said and done, does he finish at 118? Because at least, 112, 115, 118, those are sexier
Dice que
divisions.
si por lo menos cree que
Collazo.
Collazo pueda llegar tal vez a las 112, 115, 118. Esas divisiones son todavía más chicas, pero divisiones que se han visto en la televisión.
Que le dan más promoción.
Sí, más
Sí.
promoción.
Pues yo creo que con la altura que él tiene, creo que puede llegar a 12 máximo.
Ok.
Sí.
Yeah,
Eso va a ser como Calderón.
Sí,
He's-
un Calderón.
he was like, with his side, I think he gets, no bigger than 112, similar to Ivan Calderón. Quería preguntarle, I wanted to ask him, does he feel that, those Puerto Rican talents, when they do sign or when they do turn pro, do they have to leave the island, come over to the U.S. to
be disciplined?
To be disciplined. We've heard that with some Dominican fighters, same with the Mexican fighters. Le quería preguntar, obviamente, usted sigue hablando de la disciplina y la importancia de la disciplina. Él siendo dominicano, yo mexicano, ¿usted piensa que esos peleadores con talento, cuando lleguen a ese nivel, que ya tengan un contrato de promoción o lleguen al nivel profesional, que tienen que dejar la isla, irse de la isla para poder enfocarse y quedarse disciplinado? Porque lo mismo se ha dicho de los dominicanos, que tienen que dejar a la República Dominicana, venir para acá para poder enfocarse, poder quedar enfocado, y lo mismo con el mexicano. ¿Usted cree que es así para el peleador boricua?
Tito Trinidad estuvo ahí, nunca dejó la isla.
Mm.
¿Sabes? Eso es de la persona.
He's like, man, he killed it. He's like, Tito Trinidad, he was like, he was there, he never left the island. He was disciplined, so it's all dependent on the person.
All right, last one. What's his thoughts on Alberto Machado? Does he still got it?
Su pensamiento sobre Alberto Machado, que si todavía tiene algo en el tanque.
Creo que va ahora para 140, si no me equivoco. Pelea. Diantre, ¿cuándo es que pelea él? El sábado.
Okay.
Él vuelve otra vez.
¿Todavía tiene algo en el tanque o ya está acabado?
Tiene. Bueno, vamos a verlo ahora el sábado.
El sábado.
El sábado en 140, que es diferente peso.
Diferente peso. He's like, well, look, if I'm not mistaken, he's just moved up to 140. He fights this Saturday. So, I still think he has something in the tank, but we'll see on Saturday night.
You know who that is, right? The dude
Yes, that was
Garcia.
actually he was co-main event, first fight I ever covered.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, that is all our questions. Go ahead and tell him to give out his social media. For anybody that isn't following can do so. And same for you, Manny.
Fueron todas las preguntas. Muchas gracias por venir aquí al programa y darnos su tiempo y darnos la entrevista. Si podría darle sus redes sociales para que los seguidores le puedan dar un follow y seguir con su carrera.
Me pueden encontrar Cristian M. Tapia en Facebook e Instagram.
He's saying you can find me, Christian M. Tapia, on Facebook or Instagram. Manny?
Before I give my social media, if you could give me a minute.
Yeah, of course, bro.
I mean, this is why I love this kid. His humbleness. He talked about all these Puerto Rican fighters, never mentioned himself. I know he believes in himself. We have these conversations all the time, but this is what he does, right? We talk about the elite fighters. We talked about LeBron, which is in his same weight class. That's a fight that we were after. I believe he's in that level. I think a lot of great fighters. I remember Miguel Cotto went through a fight that, if it would have been the other way around, there wouldn't be no Miguel Cotto. He was knocked down like 3 times in the fight. Tough fight. Ended up finishing it late in the fight. I think he kneeled in the middle of the ring in that fight. I think this fight that he just fought, if it was in Philly, could have been a draw or even the other way around, which he still would have been in that aspect of undefeated, which is what he was talking about, which is what needs to be. On top of that, what make to me Trinidad so loved in the sport is exactly what he has, is exactly what you fell in love with, was his tenacity. Trinidad was a guy that the Puerto Rican fans, especially myself, watching him, we were almost look for that vulnerability to come, him get knocked down, cheer for him because we knew he was going to come back from that adversity and win the fight. And that's what he is. And that's what the Puerto Rican fan base, boxing in general, loves. So saying that, I believe he's in that same, just like LeBron is, and like he was saying, you know, this was his first shot of showing in the media wise, because they don't get the publicity of great fighters, and he showed that. So I just asked the boxing world to look at that fight. I remember you was begging Porter, go back and watch this fight.
Yeah, man.
Go watch. Go.
It's sad. I mean, you know, the good thing is that it's on DAZN and you can go and just click it. But it's sad that not everybody has watched it because it deserves candidate, if not fight of the year, if we can't get nothing better. And I mean, the year is almost over, so you know it definitely falls in there.
So, you know, I just wanted to end it with that for the people to show. He definitely deserves another shot. We are open to hear all of them. So when it comes to that, LeBron, and I'm mentioning LeBron because he's in the same class. I believe he's as good, if not better. That's only shown at a fight that could be proven. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I really, really appreciate the opportunity to be in here. You guys are top notch. This place is amazing. Thank you so much for being here. My social media pages is Hard Hitting Promotions is my promotions. And the social media pages, all of them, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, is Hard Hit Promo.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NesGTO.
Ringwalk Danny, we are the Boxing Voice Catchers tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. We out.